Past Meets Present. That's the title of an exhibition in Istanbul presenting the works of 16 artists at the Anna Laudel Contemporary. The exhibition showcases many diverse works as the participating artists come from very different artistic and cultural backgrounds. But they all have several things in common: their interest in the research, excavations and discoveries of historians, scientists and archaeologists. Without giving away too much more information, I'd like to now welcome the curator of Past Meets Present, Huma Kabakci. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So Past Meets Present, it's very self-explanatory, but it really does make people wonder what elements are being put into this gallery. So my question to you is, what was the vision when you guys formed this exhibition?
So with Mine Küçük and I as co-curators, I was just talking to her earlier, and we realized it's been 1.5 years since the ideas started developing about this. Yeah, it's been a while. So we were both interested in contemporary art practices and how these were influenced by the past, whether it's archaeology, history, or the materiality of such, and how they integrate within their contemporary art practices. And when you look at art, everything is inspired and influenced by the past, so that's inevitable. There's 16 artists, as you mentioned, and when we look at the history of Anna Laudel Contemporary, it used to be an Ottoman post office, which is just situated on Bankalar Street, right opposite to South Galata. So we were very much inspired by the history of the building itself. So when we were choosing artworks, we selected certain artists according to the concept itself.
So that comes to my second question, because I want to ask you, how did you guys choose to bring all these different types of artists together into one gallery?
So some of them were quite organic, how it developed, because once the concept was there and once we wrote the curatorial proposal, the artists were quite, it grew organically. So with Mina and I, we had some artists that we had in mind, both of us. So when I mentioned one name, she was like, oh, I was exactly thinking about him or her. So that was great. And then when we pitched other artists to each other, it all formed quite nicely. And especially once we started the studio visits, it became more apparent. And then we started selecting works. Some of the works by these artists were produced specifically for this exhibition. So, we're quite happy with
it. Was a long thinking process.
Yes, it was quite long.
So there's a lot of art events taking place now and are set to take place, especially with the 15th Istanbul Biennial upcoming next week. Is Anna Laudel Contemporary going to host any upcoming events in the near future that we should be looking out for?
So tomorrow we have the opening, but other than that, as the co-curators of the exhibition, we were we found it quite vital to keep the exhibition like a museum quality exhibition. Yes, it is a commercial gallery, but with the events we try to enhance, and we're actually neighboring events to the biennial itself, which is great. So on the 23rd, we have the curatorial tour, which happens at 6:30 p.m. if anyone wants to join. On the 24th, there's an artist talk with 6 artists. And on the 28th, there's a performance element with talk dance, guided by the dancer and choreographer Tan Temel and his team. So, they were working very much within the exhibition, its concept, and the space itself. So we're quite excited for that.
So it seems like you guys have a very busy schedule coming up.
Yes.
So Anna Laudel Contemporary is located in Korakuen. And Korakuen, if for people who don't know, is a district in Istanbul. And it's slowly becoming a more artistic hub as days pass. What do you think about Karakue's artistic evolution?
So, I mean, it's not actually that recent, because when you look at the history, I mean, the beginning of 2000s, I can say, after especially Istanbul Modern, the museum was built, there's quite a lot of nice boutiques, fashion places. You know, it was the place for experimentation at one point in TomTom on the Boğazkesen Street. There was a lot of galleries, which unfortunately closed, but there's kind of a move back. So a lot of galleries are now moving back in, and I think, I mean, also looking at where Anna Laudel is positioned, I think it's great. So there's definitely a hub, and it's quite lively.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for joining us on Showcase today.
Thank you for inviting me. Bye.